What's going on? I hit live and it was instantly live. Did not expect that. Never the case. Happy Friday, everybody. Whew. Usually I've got like 10 seconds. I hit the button and I can talk myself up. So, hopefully everyone had a decent week. Seems like it was only yesterday that Matt and I were live, and now we're live again. So much going on. Check in where you're watching from. Anyway, just got home. I'm a little late, a little frazzled. Didn't get enough cleaned up. I did shave though, which is, I was looking pretty scraggly. The hair already makes me feel a little scraggly, especially with how long it's getting. Like I'm not doing mullet. Like it's equally long underneath, but it's starting to look a little. So, you know, I'm just like, I need to shave so I don't complete the homeless look. Cheers to whatever you're drinking at home. Where's the wife? Nicole is not joining tonight. Hopefully she plans to be back after her trip back to back home. Hopefully by then everything's good. She's feeling better, the whole deal. Been changing a medication that affects her quite a bit, and she's just trying to get in the role of it. So a little bit of info on you can wish Nicole well wishes, but she's not joining yet. Few weeks, something like that. Hopefully planning on being back in full swing. Tonight, the plan, this is the truck I've been working on. Maybe you saw the video that I posted. What was that? Went live on Wednesday? Does that sound right? Anyway, it's VS410 Phoenix kit, and I did the swap over to a Interceptor chassis, the RC Rock Pirates Interceptor chassis, and their hardline bed, which is this little bed in the back, including the Power Wagon specific sliders. So, and then last night I painted this body myself. Mind blown. I even did black trim painted on the windows. Who am I? And then I made some templates with some masking tape, scanned them in, drew them in Illustrator, and cut out some wood vinyl to make my woody inserts. We're going for the family Truckster. The family Truckster theme. And if you haven't seen the hit smash movie, National Lampoon's Vacation, from 1983, my year of birth, then you may have also remembered the honky lips that gets tagged on the back corner of the station wagon during the movie. And I found a font that looked paint-esque and cut out some white vinyl, and I went ahead and put it on both sides. Metallic P. You know what? I remembered I actually watched after the fact, after I bought this, the color and everything, because I was doing a little bit of my research. So I'm gonna do a little bit of extra. What city did it get graffiti in? Was it St. Louis? Was that right? Let me know if that was correct. I remember they stopped in St. Louis. That's where they got the like the hubcaps stolen and stuff like that. Yeah, leash on the back. I'm going to do a couple of things. We're going to have East St. Louis. That's right, Mike J. And if you don't know St. Louis, you will know that there's a clarification about East St. Louis, which is technically on the Illinois side. The RC Underdog. Thank you, sir. Surprised you're not playing BeamNG. Would the Interceptor chassis accept parts from the Element pretty easy? Yes, super easy. I think it would be basically a direct bolt-in, probably even a little bit easier than this one was, and this one was simple. So just super simple swap. If it's your first flat rail, then it's a pretty decent choice overall. So tonight, though, my plan is to put electronics in this because currently I have a steering servo But that was just one I had here on the bench, not the one I really planned on using. Something I don't do all the time, but tonight I'm going to steal electronics out of another truck. Well, the steering servo and a winch at least. I'm going to steal the steering servo and the winch from the 24-hour mayhem build, because I built that as like a desert thing. It was kind of fun and all that, but I'm not going to drive that truck as much as something like this. And I had really good, like a 888 servo and a 300 IS comp spec winch in there. And I was just like, I feel really bad leaving these electronics in there when I'm not going to run it as much. So, you know, that's my train of thought. Let's use it since we got it. So we're going to pull that out of there. I do have to decide on a motor in ESC. We've got some options there. We got some new stuff here on the bench. I've got some other stuff around. So we'll get into that as well. Rock 8. Thank you for no comment, just the donate. I appreciate the donation. Just a lull with the banging on the bathroom floor. What was that song? City High, crying all on the bedroom floor, right? Dana, go brushed, be different. I've got 2 other builds where I'm going brushed. So Eric Baker, thank you, sir. Eric Baker, I don't know why I said that. Just got in a roll there. Why not use the Phoenix cab since you started with the Phoenix kit? The Phoenix cab is wider than this body by a good bit. So it wouldn't have fit these sliders. While this bed would have worked still, depending on the placement. That was the reason. So yeah. There's the plan for the night. Like I said, I just got home, talked to Nicole for a handful of minutes, and then ran in. So it was a poor design decision on the Phoenix Cat. It's just one of those things, like, to make it a nice looking scale truck with clearance. Like, they get, while I would, I do like the Power Wagons. I obviously have done many of them. So yeah, Gunnar Nissen, thank you, sir. Tonight's code, no Nicole not watching. That's, you know what? I'll allow it. Thank you, Gunnar. There's your 10% off code for Satisfied Jerky. Dana is on top of it, pinned at the top, in case you're looking for some jerky. Good stuff. All right, so I grabbed the truck. If you guys remember, let's make sure that's scrolled down. Use. So this was the 24-hour mayhem build off that we did with Matt. What's this car called? It's not a deadbolt. It is a... Wow, I'm absolutely drawing a blank. Can't believe it. Base Camp. Got it. RC Patina guy. Thank you, sir. Overdue donation. Back in the new garage on the... Dude, the new garage is looking fantastic. Great job on that. The... You guys aren't watching. Hey, and RC Patina guy is doing a giveaway as he gets towards his next benchmark. Go check that out. So anyway, I suppose I should actually just remove the body rather than trying to work with it flipped up. Let's do that. This is a fun build and all, but like I said, I'm not going to drive this like I'm going to drive that. So I wanted to do a new body on this, and Matt said he would paint it even, and I just never got it ordered. And then I took it to Axial Fest, but I didn't get it used. The bomber interior, of course. All right, underneath, let's put this back together for a second, at least with the hardware, so I don't lose it. Shoot. Maybe. That's not a flat rail trail truck. Yes, you're right. Let's see. Are those Matt's class 1 and class 2 rigs? Oh my god. That's exactly what we should. I wish Matt was here right now. Be like, I'm replicating your trucks. It is funny. I do feel like my green, while not his Porsche OEM paint matched, lacquer based, it does look awfully similar. God dang it. Now, I will say that on my green, I did the green, which is a regular Tamiya like DS8 or something. And then I backed it with silver. And then I backed it with black to try and make it look nice. And I forgot, this finished while I was gone. Can you tell what that is? That is the roll cage for this build. I started that last night, and it was like a 12 or 14 hour print. So we'll get this cleaned up and put inside. I printed it all at once just so it was nice and clean. It attaches to the body, but it won't weigh anything. So we'll get to that later as well. It's not a cat. You know what? So we did, those of you that have been around for a long time will remember our mod Jesse Schultz, who we have not seen in quite a while, but he popped into our mod chat today. We hadn't seen him in a while, and it was good to hear from him. I was hoping maybe we'd see him tonight, but we'll see. Are the windows painted black? No, it's just dark in there. So they're all clear. But it's painted the inside of the body is painted black, so it does look that way. I see in the camera. All right. Man, I did a nice job cleaning up all my wiring. Zip tied everywhere. Even in a rush, I do such nice work. How's Jesse doing? Jesse ran into some stuff. He had a surgery that unfortunately didn't sound like it went super well for him. And just having a tough go at things. And like I said, it was good to see him. Or, even if it was in the inappropriate ways he posts in our Instagram group. But, he is well. Hopefully he's doing better. Mr. Jesse's now Mrs. Jesse. Nobody would appreciate that joke more than Jesse, is the thing. That's hilarious. All right, so we got those loose. And pull the good news is I never spooled the winch that was in here, so don't have to worry about undoing any of that. Eric, also Eric, I did get your message today, and I didn't get a chance to respond, obviously. Sorry about that. We'll have to figure out when to meet up here soon. On Sunday, I'm headed to Pebble Beach for the Concours d'Elegance, one of the fanciest car shows in the world. I'm going to go there in my comp stance hat and a free t-shirt. Where they sell some damn bait. No. Well, I will be way out of way out of, place, I guess. But won't stop me from having a great time. They won't let you into Pebble. They shouldn't let me into Pebble. So that is for sure. That is a place that they should be able to see a mile away that I do not belong. However, I did not spend $1,000 on the ticket like they cost. I got a freebie, and on a. So my neighbor, the coffee guy, who you always, why I drink so much espresso. He handles like the coffee at the event. Like he makes sure that all the machines are set up at all the different vendor or like, vendor spots or whatever it is. So he has however many tickets to get us in or whatever. I don't know how it goes. Either way, I'll be somewhere I don't belong. Ben, and no, Steve is not going, actually. It's going to be me and Fam. So he and I are going to be going. So you're a coffee bitch now? I don't even have to have anything to do with the coffee, luckily. Even though I am aware of how to make coffee, I don't have to. I don't have to do it. I don't have to even wear a shirt that says that I'm a coffee tech. I need to get rid of these little spacers. I had to put these spacers under the servo to make everything clear, and it was there. So so you have to work a barista shift. Uh, like, what would you like? Okay, cool. I know how to make one thing. I know how to make my drink. That's all I know how to make. So, you want that? Like, cool. All right, I'm gonna keep making the other thing. You can order your macchiato all you want. I don't know what's in it. Alrighty, there we go. Would have been great to pull up on your trike. The trike is here. That is the good news. I unloaded it into the garage today. Yeah. So I was gonna start working on it tomorrow with Nicole, because she's actually excited to work on that as well. But if I work on that in the garage all day tomorrow, I will not be walking very well for Sunday. So I'm gonna not. I'm gonna not do that. I'm gonna put it off. Spend some time getting the garage organized. I got to go pick up my lift table that I'll be using for it. Um, like a motorcycle lift, but not. It's a smaller version of that. It's just for like lifting things up in general. Harbor Freight table. Yeah. So I'm putting that spacer back in for right now to make sure that looks like that will work. We're gonna draw up and print a spacer quick for that servo though. Maybe I should just do that right now. Does your trike even flex, bro? Not without severely reduced air pressure. So, all right. Quickly, I'm going to. What happens if I just click Fusion? If I go to this. And then I go to. Now you should hear me again. That's a start. Okay. If I go to that, well, you guys see your guys' chat, but that's fine. I don't care about that for right now. So, like I said, I just need to do a super quick drawing for servo spacer. So I'm just going to do that super quick. I know CAD doesn't do well on stream, but if you don't at least see what I'm doing, it'll probably do even worse. So right now I've got 4 individual spacers, and I really don't like that. So I'm just trying to make it one so that I don't have to fiddle with it. I can just slide it under and it will work. Let's see. L for line, X for construction. Yes. I'm grabbing my calipers quickly. So I can measure a couple of things on, what are we at? So that is 21 1/4 on the opening there. Then I should just go ahead and make it like, say, let's drag this out that way. Make that 3 per side. I could do math and constraints, but I don't plan on doing that. Front to back for the opening of the servo, 43 1/2, we'll call it. And center to center of the servo holes is a standard number that I should know off the top of my head, but I don't. So I'm just taking a quick measurement. We're going to call those 48.2. There you go. Quickly, I know you guys hate watching this stuff, but I'm trying to do this so that I can keep making progress in this build without having to take it all apart myself. I'll just go back to that for a second and you can just hear me talk. I know that for some reason is better than watching that to most people. Oops. So anyway, got that there. Like I said, I'm just trying to make this a quick spacer so that I can the whole interference thing that I was happening was actually kind of a weird thing for me. For what I expected on this chassis, that was something that was a little bit, I don't know. This chassis actually is fairly tall on the sides. Entertain us, have some Garmageddon while you do this. Oh. Ugh. Like that's one of those ones that I have to be in a special mood to punish myself over. Like, there we go. 10 1/4. I wonder how many RC Pro Drives pens are going to ride at Vanquish HQ. Oh my god, if you guys missed the live on, what day was that? Wednesday. It was a good time. I had a good amount of time. You gonna post all this print stuff online? Yes. Anyone who wants to replicate this chat, or this build, everything that I'm doing for this thing will be available. So just to make it easy if you're trying to do something similar. All right, I'm going to throw some fillets on this thing. And this is worse than watching an apprentice trying to read a tape measure. No. All right, I'm done with that and going to save this body out. Save as mesh, 3MF, 3mm servo spacer. And clean that, add add my servo spacer onto my platter. Discard all my previous and save. I do not have my printer plugged into my computer, so I'm going to have to do it with the card. Save. Whatever. It's fine. You keep saving as the same name, but it's fine. All right. Closing all that out. I apologize. But I can see the drop as soon as I open anything CAD. It's just like, brr. Don't care. Come on, printer. There we go. 13 minutes. Brian Sherwood. Thank you, sir. Is this a 70K Ralph truck? Nope. Absolutely not. You cannot have this. This. Although, if you guys remember the yellow Power Wagon that I had been building, I did sell that last Saturday. That one is gone. So I did film an episode on it before, but I didn't get it edited. And then a guy who watches quite a bit, his name's Tim. He's not too far from me. He was just like, "Is it available?" Because I'd mentioned it in last week's stream. I was like, "Yeah." I threw it on the website before that, and just, I always just throw them up there. Whenever it happens, it happens. I'm never in a big rush. But I was gonna film a video to kind of put it out there a little bit, and he got it before that. Is this my birthday present then? Let me tell you what, though. For some reason, it is quite hot in here tonight. I'm going to have to open my door to the studio. Nicole will have to listen as we discuss all this. So, right now, this is the Reef's 888 direct power servo. And then this is the 300 IS comp spec winch, which I have in another one of my trucks, and I do really like it. But I'm going to put it in here. I'm trying to think if I should. I don't really have much room to go downward with it, so we're going to leave it facing upwards, which will be fine. BT, thank you, sir, for some AC. The problem is I've got a huge light here, a big light here, and then another one over there. They really just bake on me. Thank you very much, BT. What the hell was that? Whoops. I don't think I put my magnetic bed back on there when not very well, when I took this off. So it was a bit freaked out. So now it's going through the whole calibration problem. Man, always has to happen on live. That never happens. Of course, it's during a live video. Devin Lemons, thank you, sir. Go to Supercuts and get that mop chopped off. Bring back the cop stash. Also working on my four-wheel steer sporty. Going a little bit outside the rule set, but I like it. And I'm going long hair. I've never had long hair in my entire life. BT. There will be a bruiser build one of these days. Oh, man. You know, I did that what's the Tamiya Semi that one time. And I was just like, I cannot believe that these 3-gear transmissions are just out here still living life, because I feel like those things had to feel outdated in the 80s, but they just keep on keeping on. So he needs a mullet for the trike. It's going to be long everywhere. Thank you, not just in the back. They did feel outdated. Yeah, I built one. My first one I ever built was what was it for? It was the High Lift. That was the first 3-gear I ever built. It was the Tamiya High Lift F350. I think I built that around 2008 or so. 2007, 2008. I two-tone painted it, and I ended up in the end selling it to John Holmes back in the day. Josh and one of those 2-foot apples. Oh, 2-foot apple. I feel like I could definitely end up there, but we'll try not to. All right. So we got the nice winch, nice servo in there. And I do have some micro servos from Reefs as well, but I have to design up mounts for those still. Figure out exactly how I want to do that. Once I get the battery in there, motor, all that, I can work on that. This is easy enough to lock into position for now, but yeah. Toxic Crawlers, thanks. What's going on, sir? Moose Jaw joining in as well. More servos. Yeah, I'm not really building this one to be a class 2. I'm just building it to be built. Have fun, do whatever we can. And like I said, when I started it, it was cheaper to start with a full kit than it was to, buy piece by piece, for sure. And if you went with the $4.99 option, you could have got these same wheels included in it. So, and even another reason yet. Let's clean off this support material from the cage that I printed in one piece. I'm sure that's annoying to listen to. I apologize. So, printed the cage in Prusament Galaxy Silver. Let's see. Built one in 87. Was so excited when it was done. Then I drove it. Cue the sad trombone. Oh, man. See, the Tamiyas, I've never had like a great Tamiya driving experience that I can remember. I would say the best driving experience from Tamiya I've ever had is the big rig. And that's just because it was so ridiculous and big that I was just like, you should have seen Gately's hair in elementary and junior high. What? That's funny to hear since he's all bald-headed now, or, shaved-headed now. Tamiya is just fun in a box. Oh, the dancing rider. Yeah. Now, I take everything back. That was obvious. That's one of the best driving experiences. How could I forget? Okay. So, getting the support material slowly worked away. The last one of these I printed right side up rather than upside down. And it works fine, but this seemed a little more reasonable because I still wanted to print it in one piece rather than breaking it up. I know this is terrible. This cage will also be available, but it will be available once the 3D scanning video is out. There we go. Yay! Any thoughts on 0.6 millimeter printer nozzles versus 0.4? Saw a video of them last week. Been thinking about looking into it more. I probably saw the same video as you, and I'm thinking about changing over as well. From the info that he had, which he's one of the printer guys that I watch a lot. I can't remember his name, but he is a, I don't know, kind of Nordic guy. And he was, I mean, it was crazy to see it. So I think I'm going to try switching over to 0.6 here as soon as I can. I've almost bought the extruder a couple of times and then just kind of forgot. Or not even just the extruder, just the nozzle. Angers? No, it wasn't Maker's Muse. He's a blonde guy. Like I said, very Nordic. I do watch Maker's Muse a little bit as well, but not as much as this guy. He's not CNC Kitchen. So that cage print came out really well. So this part obviously goes against the Tom. Yes, it's exactly his name. But so anyway, that's looking good. I am going to oh, there they are. My sanding blocks. I'm just going to hit some of these. I just don't want it to wear through the paint on the roof right away with any of the hard spots. So just smooth it out quickly. Random question. Are you a full-time YouTuber or do you have a full-time job elsewhere? I have a full-time real job. YouTube is definitely not full-time. I work for Vanquish Products full-time. So that's my go-to everyday job, which I don't hide. I try and make that clear and put out there why I like and choose what I do. But that is what pays my bills. It is not YouTube. YouTube in our little niche is fun and it helps pay for my hobby, but it is not something that I would say it pays any of its own pays any bills beyond that. So, you know. Any cheat code to get 4.75 tusks? I've had some on back order for quite some time, and I went into my local hobby shop here in Sacramento, and they had 2 full sets. So I bought a full set there because I'm right with you. I just couldn't get them. I pay the YouTube bills, BT says. That is true. That helped. He bought this filament, basically, for sure. So, the interior cage, which this came from the 3D scan of a Power Wagon body, but it basically just drops right in there. And it's basically it's just a nice, super nice fit overall. Like I impressed myself. The only problem is that it fits almost too well in a lot of ways that you don't see it enough. Like you have to look at how hidden it is. Otherwise it's just like blends in. So like I don't know. that's but that's our deal. So we'll have a cage on there or in there, and I'll use that to attach what my fan or what my interior stuff will be. So, what tube bender do you use to build your bumpers and cages? Bumpers and cages. So if it's solid rod, I use a rod bender instead of a tube bender. But if I'm doing actual tube, like actual of any like round tube, I use these, which are Oaken Shield Productions, which it has my address on. Well, that's the shop address, so that's fine. That's where I have everything sent anyway. But Oaken Shield, Oaken Shield, common spelling. But you have to buy these dies online on Shapeways online. And then when you buy the bender from him, it just comes in pieces like this. I bought 2 the last time he had them up for sale. And I didn't need another one at the time. I bought 2 because I sent one to Matt. I assembled it for him and I built a handle for it and all that. They don't come in a very complete way. They're kind of a pain in the butt. But the one that I normally use is it's like this. It's from him. It's a slightly different design, but they can be kind of hard to get at times. So that's why I jumped in and bought one. But I really like those benders. I recommend them if you can get one. Just if you can get it assembled, even better. Because they're a bit of a pain in the butt. Okay. I don't know why I feel like flustered and rushed today. I feel like I need to take a deep breath and just like settle down a bit. But I don't feel like I can. I don't know why. Like redlining a little too much. Is Clark going to drive this? You know how I feel about driver figures. I think I'm just going to go with Slender Man, or the not so Slender Man. This is the one that I won this at Scale Nationals. It's by CBE, and it's like this weird. He's got like a pudgy kind of. He's got like the 3D printing lines like show his man boobs a little bit too much. It's just a very weird thing. Too much coffee. It's something. Yeah, like my print is done. But I think that we could roll with this. Sounds like caffeine withdrawal. All right. Let's see if my hasty dimensions were correct. Yes. Yes, they were. Good deal. So that is what we're going to drop underneath of this servo quickly. Of course, I have to take the spacer out, and I put the drag link on. Say his name. What name? Whose name? I don't remember what his name was. Okay. That up. Oh, that's so much nicer. I like what I did there. Good job, me. So, tighten back in. his, his, wait, his name is Robert Paulson. What in the world am I missing? Would you mind answering Prusa questions? No, I would not mind. For, I do not claim to be a 3D printing expert, but Fight Club. I do not remember that. How does the Danish 60 get its name, Josh? Ooh, that is a great question that I don't know the answer to. Just know what it is. It's Ted's mom. Is that the Fight Club rap? God, that's right. I do remember that part from. Okay. I'm happy with that small adjustment. Matt is building what Cousin Eddie would drive if he won the lotto. Is that the Land Roamer, Earth Roamer? It's a really fancy RV. There is an RV. Better question, how did the Shelby 350 get its 350 designation? Again, I don't know that. So, what we do have to decide is an ESC. The world still doesn't know, Dana. We still have to decide an ESC. And since I've got this servo winch, and I'll have two little servos, I need something with a BEC. Real tomato ketchup, Eddie? Only the best. Oh, no. We're going to start already. Thanks, Phoenix. I'm on a cruise ship in the middle of the Atlantic watching you. International waters. Everything's legal. Middle of the Atlantic. Let's see. Are you going from... Let's see. Torpedo Law. So are you going from the northeast down to the Caribbean? That's going to be my guess. Okay. Yes, correct. I got it. I knew it. So you said Law, so I was like, that's not a Florida name. That's not... I don't see that one, so that's what I was going to guess. You know what I do have? Something that I put in another truck not too long ago is that Spectrum 2-in-1. Which is basically the same as the Fusion Pro. We could run that. That would work. That would keep things a little simple. Has enough of a BEC to run the winch and the micro servos. Yeah? Do we like that? Are we on board for that idea? Let's find that truck. I'm going steady now and going to... Wait, what? Yeah, Daddy says I'm best. Oh, that... See, it'd been a long time since I'd watched Vacation, and I did it the other day, and I was just like, okay, there's some interesting stuff. You can't do that anymore. Let's see. I've got the Crawlmaster V2, and I got a Castle BEC that I'm going to power it with. Yeah, so that was my other option. I've got a Crawlmaster V2 here and a revolver, but yeah, then I was like, I'll need an external BEC and oof. Yeah, Cousin Eddie's daughter Vicky. Yeah, I remember exactly. The Daddy says I'm best at it. Like, okay, that's watching Blazing Saddles sometime. Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. That one. There was like it I think it was a TikTok. It was literally a TikTok, and it was like remaking Blazing Saddles today, and it was just like the opening credits and then the ending credits. Like that's all you could show of this entire movie. Let's see. My Crawlmaster Mini V2 just burned the onboard BEC, only running a radio link receiver and a high-tech 225 MG for dig. Could have been the dig servo. Those 225s, unreliable at best. Buy Blazing Saddles now before they take it away. Yeah. Excuse me while I whip this out. Oh my god. There's so many things in there that you couldn't say now that I won't even say them on my YouTube channel. And nobody can technically cancel me. You didn't order the metallic P? No, I ordered the sport model. What was it? Something blue? Blazing Saddles or history? History of the world. Yeah, there's some of those are good. Antarctic blue. Okay. See, that's what you should build. Should build what the sport model would have been. I'll have them both. This is my Karma probiotic water. I feel like I didn't really realize what I was drinking until on here. I'm like, this is the least manly water you could ever drink. A sport model with the optional rally fun pack. Now, that brings up probably warm and nasty. My ahas are warm. This one is chilled. But my thoughts. So I do want to talk this out. While I am for some reason still too amped up and I need to like calm down. So I've got the wood panels on there. And one of the things that I talked about in the video that I didn't love about the setup that I have here is that there is this gap here in the back. And I want to try and do something with this area. Now I do want to build a rear bumper, and I probably will still build a front bumper. This is the stock Phoenix bumper that I just shortened the edges of, or ends of, a little bit with my bandsaw. And I 3D printed a mount for it to go in there. So I may still make a front bumper of some sort. But back here, I was thinking like to make a rear bumper, and I was almost thinking about making it kind of look like a luggage rack, roof rack, basket type thing, to just, kind of like 1/8 inch rod and just kind of go around, give it that roof rack feel, even though it's in the back. But I could, or I may still add an actual roof rack to it. A little less than like the normal like Sorka style, but still with something. And I think that might make the back look kind of decent. Wally World moose horns. No, I refuse to put anything that will like be severely detrimental to use or function. I'm not doing like little scale details, just big picture stuff. While this is a little bit more of a theme than I normally do, let's not get crazy. B-Man bust out the Dremel and chop it off. The problem is I think that it would look too short. Like if this was gone, I feel like it's just too short. Otherwise, I have no problem cutting stuff up. Like that doesn't faze me in the slightest. But I just I want it to be a little bit longer. I think that the length of this would actually look better. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. Just maybe like 2 rails, one that goes around Another one a little bit of above it. Tie into a bumper bar across the back. Maybe make it all out of titanium. Put a coffin in the bed. I could wrap up Kevin. We could wrap Kevin up. He could play the part of Aunt Edna. Everyone says grandma, but it was actually Aunt Edna. Wrap him in the trash bag, since he was a small man anyway. And Aunt Edna was pretty tiny. I feel like wrapped up in a trash bag in the back would be in good shape. I think we could easily get that. We could get that done. So, not sure if anybody mentioned it yet, but what tires are those? These are the J Concept Tusks, which people really like. So I picked them up because people say good things about them. I put Crawler Innovations 2-stage foams in them, and should be good. Perfect. Then a leash. Yes, agreed. A little leash off the back, short little piece of leather leash. Make an extension plate and paint it black. Yeah, I mean, to actually fill it in, I agree. I'll fill it in and then maybe make the rear rack type look. We're not going to have the 4 headlights, but I feel like it'll be okay. He probably hung in there for a few miles. That was another one of the like the animal cruelty, like how underplayed it was in that on that particular scene was like, I don't know that you could get away with this scene like this now. Turn the Power Wagon into a wagon. No. This is parody for a reason. I'm not trying to actually recreate we're just trying to give it the look and feel. What was the dog's name? No idea. I watched the movie 2 nights ago, and I definitely don't remember already. Mainly because I was still working on this. And it was just there. It was just on. As they jumped the car and then he walked through the desert. I still like Christmas. I think Christmas Vacation is better. Eddie's dog was Snot. Yeah. Christmas Vacation, I agree. I think it was better. But Vegas Vacation may actually be my favorite. I think that one was good. But maybe dog was dinky. Got to do the headlights so people actually get it. Yeah, I don't have much room. I mean, I guess if I do a tube bumper, it gives me a little bit more room. It's just gonna be a little difficult. I could probably mill something out, get some acrylic and a real fine engraving bit and do it. Maybe, I don't know. Is this a class 2 truck? No, not doing it for class 2 to class 2 rules. I'm just building it to build it. Just purely for fun. No points or no rules. Oh, I'm putting dig in it and the shiftable 2-speed, so dig makes it not allowable in class 2 anyway. So the dog wet on the picnic basket, so you need a picnic basket. I might be okay with just a few scale accessories, even though I would normally not. A picnic basket is reasonable. Aunt Edna in the bed, and I think maybe the headlights are probably something I should do. yeah, like I would just put 4 headlights on top of that bumper. I mean, I could. It still would kind of fit, right? But I feel like if I integrate it in the front, maybe it'll look better. You don't do a driver, but you'll do a dead body. I know. It's because it's like, it's hidden. It doesn't look like a doll in the back. It just looks like it could be. Square headlights. That's the thing. They got to be square. And I feel like I need the ambers as well. So if I get some acrylic and I mill it down, I can make the pockets. I think I could make it work. I'll go a little bit extra. 4 Q series lights. There is no room for that type of thing. 4 on each side. Wasn't there 2 on each side, just on top? 2 and 2? Wasn't 4 on each side, was there? I mean, I know it looked stupid, but... Or am I just kind of a... Oh, yeah, I see what you mean by 4. There is 4 squares. I guess I was just counting that one assembly as 2, and the other... Since it's like a normal assembly, and then it's just mirrored underneath of each other. Same and same. So yes, I get what you mean with 4. I could do it. Funny, I keep saying 4 on each side. I saw what you said, Mike J, but again, can't be trusted. You never know these days. Okay. The rear, that. I gotta find the Fusion Pro. I put it in a truck already, otherwise I would know where it was. And it is put it on this 3 gear a while back. Can I get it? No, I can't get it out without. Just got mine is not, I called it Fusion Pro. Mine is not technically Fusion Pro. It is the Spectrum version. So. But same, not saying same specs, but same specs. You know what I mean. Your wheels need to be black steelies, hubcapless. See, that's a length that I won't go. The family Truckster had like the gold crowns on it, and that was enough for me to say that that's the way I'm going. I won't sacrifice and put ugly wheels on. In the end, I still want this truck to look like something I like. Okay. Putting transmission back in. Yeah. What did you do for your bed mount? I cut off the little lips that they had on the bed because they interfered with this chassis. They just didn't really line up properly. So I cut those off, and then I designed up a quick mount. And 3D printed it. So you can see it fits underneath of there. And just simple and clean. Allows it to mount super sturdy now. And I can get my full suspension travel without the upper links contacting it. I'm only running an 80mm shock, so it's super low. So that was just a quick thing to do, but made it nice and easy, and it puts it in the correct location to match with the shock tower. Oops. Another one of those. Spammers. Didn't that motor fit? Yes. So the Spectrum version is not as long as a Fusion, even though a Fusion will fit as well. But this one is a little bit larger diameter. The only thing you need to do is shave a tiny bit of material off the edge of the skid plate. It's super simple. So, what are the brightest lights and light bars that you know of? The brightest lights are probably the Q series. I think definitely the Q series. I don't think that there's been any brighter at this point. As far as light bars, I don't know. I don't know on that one. I don't know what the brightest light bar would be. The light bars all seem to be pretty similar. There used to be one that was a Vanquish light bar that a company called Moore Engineering, or it was Moore RC, Miniature Off-Road Engineering. They used to take and modify to be just insanely bright. But he doesn't do it anymore. So the modded, Moore also used to do modded Q series as well. But like I said, he hasn't been doing it anymore for a number of years. So we don't get those anymore. I don't think that I've seen Chris since he was the one who did it. He came to my wedding. I don't think I've seen him since then, though. He lives in Minnesota. The Incision ones are bright enough. The Incision ones are super bright. For the money as well, they're a great deal. But they're not as bright as a Q series. Q series are pretty wild. Also, little known tip, the Q series are like they can be about twice as bright as they are safe and still be like right at the spec. They're just sold at a level that is safe and that we know they won't burn up at. So, but they can be even brighter. So we're gonna throw the wires out the passenger side. Did I take the motor screws out? I believe I did. I think I kept them. See. Yep. Don't run Q series on 3S. Wait. Don't run Q series on 3S with the regulator. Wait, yes, you can run them on 3S with the You mean without the regulator? Correct. You always have to run the regulator. If you don't run them with the regulator, you will absolutely burn up those lights. That's why there's instructions. Okay. Now, I've got my pinion here. My Trick RC lights are very, very bright. My Trick RC, also nice. My Trick RC lights I ran on my Jeep JK, the SCX3. Nice and bright for the money. as well. Not as bright as like the Q series, but still a great light. And they've got some nice controllers as well. So you know, I forgot to put Loctite on my pinion set screw. Can't do that. Can't forget. How's it going? What do you think of 3-link rear steer setup? I was looking at my Element chassis and it looks like it would be easy to do. I mean, I assume by that you mean you're going to do a chassis mounted servo? I mean, as long as you're still running a panhard. Most people don't, just because the chassis mounted servo points for 4-wheel steer doesn't count the same. So like people just like, if I'm not getting extra points for it, I'm just gonna axle mount it. But as far as like, if you're going after a look, or I get it. But how's your dad? Dad's doing fine. Mom is my mom was gone for the last 7 weeks. She was down in Florida. She was gone while, if you remember the story, of how my dad lost his finger 5 or 6 weeks ago. She was down in Florida, and that's how she was just checking in on him when she found out he was in the hospital. But my mom is back now. She was down there for my grandma, who was going through her end of life. So she passed, let's see, Sunday. Yeah, last Saturday or Sunday, something. One of those days. Little over a week ago or so. Yeah, which is not Sunday, but I don't remember what day it was. But she's back home now, so taking care of Dad, and I'm glad. I know everybody is glad to be home and getting dealing with all of that stuff, because part of life. We all have to deal with it. It was a tough one for for Mom especially, of course, but she's back home now. My dad is safer with supervision around him. So, but yeah, no, it's always a crappy deal. We all deal with it. I know that's, I have one grandparent left at this point. My, it's something we all deal with as age comes, right? So always a bummer. My let's see, my dad's dad, he passed when I was way young, like 2 years, 3 years old, somewhere in there. And then my other grandpa, he was just a few years ago. So now grandma. But yeah, tough times. That's one way to get me to slow down with my over wild talking. So, but the entire branch linking me to my family tree is gone. I get it. That's wild. I do not have a large family like Nicole. Nicole has an absolutely massive family. Just, it's, I mean, like everybody is like this person, that person, this person. I'm just like, I could invited everybody to my wedding. Everyone I was related to. And there was like 15 people. So, and then everyone else, like 300 or 400 people, it was all Nicole. It was like, everyone's Nicole's side. They breed like rabbits, huh? Yeah, it's It's that's for sure. They really like hanging around the family too. Do you ever get the Ford Supervan from? Wait, Josh, did you ever get the Ford Supervan from across the pond? What? Which one is that? What are you talking about? I need to know. The more branches the trees has, the better. Yeah, true story. My mom's family is all North Dakota farm families. Those reunions are absolutely insane. My mom is huge into genealogy. So she's traveled all over and done like all of the linking and found, tracing back of our families. Um, it just, crazy to see all of it. My mom's family has been here a long time. Like they were early, early settlers over here. My dad's family, not been here long, 1800s sometime. Um, but mom's family was like 1700s. Like I think one of them's last name was Mr. Mayflower. Let's get the motor plate screw in. I'm not running any of the. Where are you at? I'm not running any of the screws in the. Oh, I needed two. I forgot. That's a weird last name. um, I needed to shave that link mount just a hair. Need more farm help? Time to hit the bedroom. Yeah, that's growing up, the family that lived behind us, they had a tiny, tiny last little house. And they had like 12 kids. They didn't all live there anymore, obviously. Some of them had aged out and moved on, but it's crazy. I've lost four grandfathers. Two were step grandfathers, and one I didn't meet. Those three bricks I didn't meet. Those three bricks, so no loss there. Oh, that's the thing with family. I feel like everyone's got. I mean, a. I feel like I've been super lucky with my family in general, but every family's got stuff, right? We all do. That's so by all means, call them skeletons, you call them black sheep, whatever it is, everyone's got one. Let's see. Never shake the family tree branches. You never know what's going to fall out. Holy shit. Right there with you. Right. You never know. So we're just going to whittle this down with, it doesn't take much. So now I don't know how close I need to get to that link screw. So we're gonna see. See what it looks like. 12. My grandfather actually cared about had 12 brothers and sisters. I like Bill Burr. I like watching movies that everyone's everyone starting them has died. What? I like watching movies that everyone starring them has died. I have not heard that bit. I had to read that twice to try and understand it. That is an interesting thought. I like to watch the same movies over and over because I know how they end. And I don't have to pay a lot of attention then to know what's going on. Nicole thinks I'm a psychopath because I watch the same things. Let's double check that now. Oh, I think we're golden. Yeah, I think we're in good shape. Let's try it. Did I set that pinion mesh? I did. Okay. I knew how the Titanic ended before I watched it. The boat sank. If you like this one, don't ruin it. I haven't seen it. Any plans to visit back home? Yeah, I just don't know when. Of course, I need to try and get back down to Texas again to see my brother and their baby again after my brother and his wife have been living in Norway for the last couple months. So, and they're coming back soon, but my freaking September and October is just getting stupid. Live stream when you're with your dad. Let me tell you, I don't think that I could get my dad to sit still for one. He just doesn't sit still. Isn't there a modern day Titanic built or being built? I feel like I remember watching some sort of video like that. Josh, were you able to install the wood paneling on the Power Wagon yet? This is that what you're talking about? Yes, it did. It came out good. I'm happy with it so far. Trying to just see where I'm lining up. Come on. Without using the upper link or the upper motor plate mounts, it kind of a little bit harder to get lined up. It's definitely not lining up. Oh, I forgot the drive shafts aren't attached. I was holding them in a way. Just follow your dad around with a camera. I feel like that's a good idea almost all the time, but I just don't think I could actually keep up with him. I'm having a way harder time than I should with this. Oh, I hooked up the rear and I forgot to hook up the front when I did it, I guess. There we go. I think the local news follows Josh's. just in case. They're just like in case it's a slow news day. There we go. There's likely something that my dad has to offer. Why will you not start, you bastard? I feel like this is fighting me for no good reason. It's the right screw. Rock Pirates chassis versus others. I feel like it was super simple to get. It was super simple to build, I guess, is the main thing. Okay. Why is this fighting me? I'm freaking puzzled now. Did I is the motor tweaking this thing over? Is that what I'm seeing? Am I not clearing it? I like the chassis overall. I think that it's a solid option. I like that it was, if someone's doing their first, there it goes. If someone's doing their first truck or the first flat rail build, it's a pretty good choice. Like, what makes a flat rail not easy? That's an even better question. So what makes them not easy is when you need a completely custom link set to make basically any axle work, or if it won't work easily with many transmissions, if there isn't good provisions for a panhard mount, things like that. This one came with a panhard, which was a bonus. I think that or a panhard mount at least. I think that's kind of like it's just one of those things that it's overlooked by some companies. And you have to just figure out all these little details to make these things work. So I like when there's a bit of an ecosystem either built around the chassis or made to work with other items that are just already available. Did you get a hold of them about the shock holes? That's on purpose. I got a hold of them on the shock holes before I made the video. And I can read you their rationale, and my response to it. I told them my thoughts before I did the video. So I bought the chassis and just went on their website and bought it outright like normal. So nothing, nothing crazy. Didn't, just a normal customer. Buy 304 stainless half-inch rod. Don't buy half-inch rod. You might mean quarter-inch rod. Oh, yeah, you corrected it there. Told them that West Desert. Shock holes are not really a big deal. Honestly, once it's together, it's irrelevant. West Desert, I know what you mean, but it's not true. Like, a hole should be properly toleranced for, it could be 5 millimeters and technically it still wouldn't matter. It would still function. It's a bad design. It just is. Like, you can say it doesn't matter and the shocks don't move when tightened down, but it's not the proper tolerance for a thing. So, like, at what point does it become a problem? Once, like, the screw head falls in or moves? Like, it's not right. You don't tolerance a hole to 4 millimeters for a 3 millimeter screw. That's just design. Like, I can grab any other part in this room. There's hundreds or thousands of RC parts in here. And I tell you what, if you find anything else with a 4 millimeter hole for a 3 millimeter screw, it's either a screw up or it's worn out or whatever. Like, it's a bad design. It's something that they should change. And I'll read their rationale. But at the same time, it still functions. And in the end, it does function because it's an RC car that isn't necessarily we're not building freaking rocket ships here. They still work. It's annoying, and it's something to me, like, I like building things and I like feeling good about building them. Right? Like, we build these cars because we want to. It's a luxury. Let's see. If you Okay, now we're back. My computer went full down and then back. Like, never seen my computer do that. That was wild. I am kind of surprised. That was a good one. Wow. Uh, I was talking about these trucks. Quick thing. Everything we build here is a luxury. None of it. Technically, I do this for a job. Not this, but build, make RC car parts for a job. So kind of luxury. It's still a luxury area. And when I build those things, I want them to feel like I built them right or working with good things because I chose to purchase them. And that's one of those things like when I purchase it, I go, this is wrong. And then it functions. We can all move on. We can do that. In the end, it should be better. So I think that they make a good product and they could make their product better by tolerancing the holes properly. That's really the big thing. Because everything we do is pointless. So at least be pointless and correct. So what is the standard tolerance? That's a great question because standard is what's standard, right? These are gauge pins. So if you've never seen gauge pins, this is from 0.25 inches. So it's accuracy of, what are these? Plus or minus 5/10,000ths or less. What is this? I can't remember what the accuracy is. But I would say that this one here, which is an eighth of an inch, 0.125 inches, that is on the high side of what I would normally call a properly toleranced pass-through hole for a 3mm. And that, let's grab a part. Let's grab Alex's deadbolt. So this is a deadbolt, right? There is pass-through holes on the chassis back here behind the wheels, right? So I expect that a 0.125 will not fit. It does not. So normally what you'd do then is you'd go down, I'm going to go down to a 120 because I expect that these holes are going to be between 120 and 122. A 120 passes through easily. So then you'll work your way up. 121. Let's see. I haven't used all these, so some of them still have the paper on it. So that's a 121. And that still fits. I didn't unwrap each of these pins because it's like, I don't want to do it until I have to. When I'm drawing for 3D printing, because 3D printing isn't as accurate, I'll go 3.1 to 3.5. But there you go. So 122 is the one because that's like a tight fit. Has to be aligned, doesn't go right in, and then it will go. Like maybe you could get a 123, but so yeah, that is what I would consider to be a reasonably sized. What's this? 123. Yeah. Oh, actually, 123 is like a perfect fit. So I would say 120 to 123 is the whole size to shoot for. But these are obviously much larger. I don't know. What is 4 mil in I don't know what 4 mil is in conversion, but it's just one of those things. It's a little thing. I'm still happy that I bought this truck, and I still really like the setup that they have. I love this little bed and these rock sliders. And the chassis overall was so easy to build. So I think that overall, this is still a truck that I would buy again. I'll tell you this, I don't know that there's ever been a chassis that I've bought that I didn't have something about it that I didn't like. Like one thing or another. I've built a bunch of G-Speeds, and they're probably they were built well, but they're probably on the lower side of what I would prefer. I just didn't like building them as much. Just kind of with how some of the parts were and how much you had to figure out yourself and do. It's like, The brazen scale that I built my class 2 out of, it went together similarly to this, like as far as being able to bolt things here and there. But I didn't like the style of it as much as I do this one. And this one, I like the style of and what they have available for it. So it kind of this one is towards the top of what I would prefer to buy at this point. Like, because I think that they're doing a better job with like this bed and these sliders. They've got a nicely machined availability of this front brace. So like things like that are what make this one of the better options. I really like that part of it. Let's see. Spammer. Didn't you build the Northwest Scattergun? So I built the Scattergun V2. And I liked that one as well. That one was a fun truck to work on. It was not, I do like that it was complete with cross braces and things like that for you, like printed and done. The print quality wasn't great. And the forward motor mount needed a lot of fidgeting. So this one being as easy as it is, I think I still prefer this in that way. But that one was cool when it was all done. And you had the forward motor mount and all that. But this one right now is probably still one of my more favorite options at the moment. I just keep building trucks. So, there's always something. And it's the newest one. So that oftentimes makes it kind of one of my favorites. I was between that, the Scattergun, and the G-Speed. Like I said, the G-Speed I liked in some ways. There was just things about it that I just didn't love. Like having to figure out little things, and like some of the parts that were available, like the 3D printed sliders, I just didn't like that well. I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't a bad product. I'll say that. But it also, with the G-Speed, the documentation on like some of the things that to choose and go with weren't like my favorite. I felt like I usually can understand what they're doing. And I was like just trying to do a quick overview and pick out which ones. And I was just like, this is confusing. So this one, being that it just works with everything else, makes that kind of a no-brainer. I like that part. So I heard a few other YouTubers live streamers. If you ban usernames with .xyz, it cuts. I don't know how I can do that, because I would love to just be able to ban .xyz. That would be fantastic. What kit would you recommend for a first timer? What do you mean by kit? Because there's just like truck kits you can buy, and that's way easier. This is like a kit custom truck, and that's why that's more what I'm referring to. Have you heard of the negative G chassis? I've heard of it. I have not bought one of those. Like what you're building. Oh, so I mean, for a first timer at this point, this has been the easiest one I've ever built. And for most people, like being able to just have a cool little truggy bed that bolts on, that is cool to me. Just this little piece This little piece is so simple, but makes it so cool. I don't know why. Like, it's a style preference thing. You have to like it, but I think it's cool. And it's got these little, you can buy these sliders that are pre-done. I think those are cool. I like when there's things that you can make it complete for regular people who don't have a bunch of tools or have any interest in designing a part or fabricating. I get that part of it. Like, I've been testing my Brazen ATL. It performs well so far. My ATL is, I love driving that truck. It was one of my favorite trucks to drive. I think the chassis doesn't look super scale. That's my biggest beef with the ATLs. Is like, I know Brad. I talk to him all the time, and I think I really like my ATL truck. I just wish the chassis was a little bit more like scale appealing, not appearing, but like had like because of that. Josh buys a laser CNC router next and starts. I've designed my own chassis. I have multiple of my own. I could make a new one for myself anytime. But I like, if I saw this and I was like, this is cool, then I'd have to design this and prototype it and see if it didn't work on the first time, and then make it again to make it work on the next one. Like, it's, I've got my own flat rails though. That's what my comp truck is. So, I have a CNC router in my garage. Like, but I still like just building what people make. That's fun to me. And it didn't take me any time. I was able to see it on the internet, hit buy, and it showed up. So, and it's done. And then I get to put it together. And if I have feelings about it, I'll tell you. And some people will say it doesn't matter, and that's fine too. But I'll tell you why I think it does. That's why I have a YouTube channel. The good news is that nobody's forced to watch this garbage. That is not the water I opened earlier. Ugh. That is yesterday's water. Ugh. I mean, it's still the same temperature. Because it's room temperature, but still. Trying to decide on a new battery charger. Any thoughts? Let's see. I've got that iMars. I have the iMars single. I don't have the iMars dual. I've used the dual and I like it. It's on the more expensive side. I don't know what you're looking to spend. The iMars single is great. ISDT. I have the ISDT Q8. The only problem with the ISDTs that I have is that they're DC only. So you either have to have a power supply, but I think that they do make AC DC ones. Someone will have to confirm that for me though. But the layer of dust on that water is not. It was only yesterday, so it's not too bad. But still, you can tell when sparkling water is not today's. It's like High-Tech X2. I will say that the only time, not only time, but one of the only times that I've had bad experience with chargers has been High-Tech chargers, so I won't buy them anymore. It was my High-Tech X4. And it was just the most undercharging battery charger I ever had. And I absolutely was just pissed at it. So we're going to have to get that shortened down. That's obviously way too long. The one that I use every day when I'm charging batteries most is the ProTech quad something. So let's go this over here. We're going to have to get a little bit of wire management done. Oh, I need a receiver. Put that away. Chrissy Ishii. What's going on, sir? Will the VS410 skid plate fit on the G-Speed? No, it will not. The G-Speed has its own bolt pattern on the side. So it needs a... They sell skid plates. I believe that they're Vader skids. And you have to use one of those. Unless you re-drill or something like that. But one way or the other. The rubber band thingy works okay. I'm using... I don't know what that... that must be a conversation that's going on that I don't understand. Is that a 555? It is a 888. That is their big servo. So 888 steering. Same. I'm running this same setup in my comp truck. So 888 for steering and the comp 300 winch. The comp spec 300 is a nice and just, it's got a peppy winch. I like it. Am I going to Disney? No, I won't be going to Disney. It is the same weekend as... It's the same weekend as another event. I can't remember which one it is. Is it the same weekend as Probably by the Fire? Someone check that. The skid will fit. You'll need to re-drill 2 holes. Yeah, like I said, you have to re-drill. Is it a good winch or is it a good winch or a bad winch? It's the wicked winch of the East. So we're gonna get all this wiring put over here on the side. So much room for activities on these sliders. I mean, put the 1100 and 800 IS in my Monster Mash build. Oh, the 11. That's what you were talking about. West does the 1100. That's the smart 1100, the non-direct power, right? I saw those. I really like the direct power. When I can, that's the... I'd like to use the direct power stuff quite a bit these days. I did hear some good rationale from Nabil on why they don't like the direct power for comp stuff. And I was like, oh, that's an interesting take. And Nabil likes the BEC power stuff just because it's always consistent. You know, it always runs the same power because it's run through a BEC, which is voltage regulated. But yeah, the 888 is great because it will run 4S. However, I'm going to run with this Spectrum system, which is only 3S capable, which is like one of the only reasons that I don't really like these all-in-ones is because they're never capable of 4S. So I'm always stuck with 3S, which I wish was not the case, but the it's still a real nice servo on 3S. I'll tell you that. But my comp trucks, I'm normally running 4S. Except this year for Scale Nationals, I was 3S and everything, which was weird. Weird for me. What are your recs for battery for a rig like this? I want a good balance of Ma, but keep it small. The balance thing, that's a tough one. I'm running like 850 packs mainly. 850 milliamp 3S packs. I don't know that I would call that a good balance of milliamps. I think it's pretty light. You could go up to an 1100 or a 1300 if you want a little bit more runtime, but that's probably where I would call it. I probably wouldn't go any higher than the 1300 packs. Okay, so we got our wires routed for now. Gets us so we know our lengths at least. We're going to have to coil these because these are obviously much longer than need to be on all accounts, but I don't feel like shortening them all. So this is going to be our motor. 1 to steer, 2 to clear. Black goes up. This is the winch. Winch will throw... Oh, shoot. I can't run this receiver. Right. I need more than that because I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 5. I got to run a 5 channel. Wait, you're saying I shouldn't run a 5,000 milliliter 3 amps hard pack? I mean, I'm not saying you shouldn't. It's all about your priorities. If your priority is to just run and run and run, then a 3S 5000 is a great option. There has been many times where I run with that type of stuff. But isn't that 6 channel? It is, but it only functions as a 4 with the ground radios, I believe. I'm almost positive. So I have the receiver I need, is what I'm thinking. 1300 milliamp forest packs are the sweet spot for me. Small enough to be light, but still well over hour of runtime. I feel like that's, yeah, like 1300, like that's kind of that limit for me as well. And it's a good mix. I've got some of those around here, which I'll find, but I know IRC makes drop bed and flat bed sliders, body specific power. Yeah, if you're looking for, is someone else looking for, Josh, can you tell me what battery you use in your Tamiya dual rider dancing rider? I use an E-Flight pack that I went into the hobby shop and I was like, I need a battery that fits in here, and we just like shoved stuff in until I found a 2S that fit. And I can't remember what it is, but it's for a plane. Let's see. Would a Genzace Adventure 4300 be a big battery for a comp truck? Yeah, I would say that that would be too big for a comp truck. Let's see. Picked up a purple revolver that Holmes dropped. Looks promising. Yeah, I saw that dropped, what, today? I think so. I used a VRD bed cage on the back of a cab body. Did you know the body post from the Phoenix cage drop into an SCX3 hidden body post crossmember? Pretty cool. I don't think that I did know that. I don't know if Brandon did that on purpose, but I don't know that he did. I know IRC makes drop in flatbeds and sliders that are body specific power wagon, etc. Yes. Are IERCs, aren't they 3D printed? Am I wrong there? I guess that's another thing that I should say, is that I like this bed option, and I like that it's not 3D printed. Like, I obviously like 3D printing for some things, but I don't love looking at like 3D printed exterior accessories. This interior cage is like, it's like at my limit. Like, it's hidden, it's kind of out of the way. I'm okay. I'm okay with that. IERC stuff is metal, I think. Is okay. IRC is metal. There you go. I'm sure that I've seen it. I've seen IERC stuff pop up a lot on Instagram. So I know that I've seen it. I just can't picture which one it is. Josh, your thoughts on 3/16 by .014 brass tube for bumpers and other tube work? I mean, I wouldn't use it on bumpers or anything like that, just because it's like my bumpers, I expect to work like bumpers and keep their shape and keep things away. So it would not be, I wouldn't use that. If you're trying to use it in a place that's like not going to take a hit or not be real functional, I could see that it would work and it would be easy to work with. Hick Jagger. Thanks, sir. So I built a Phoenix Class 1 4.19 Predator Hyrax, would crawl with Class 2 rigs. Wanted a leaf sprung truck. Sold my Phoenix. Built a TF2. Mistakes were made. Yeah. I mean, but hey, you got to scratch an itch every once in a while. You think you want a leaf spring truck until you have to drive a leaf sprung truck, and then you're like, oh yeah, now I remember. This is awful. Like, oh yeah. So I need to get, I also need to make a battery tray. That's also going to change a little bit based on what I do for servo mounts. I feel like all this is a little up in the air still. Would the brass inserts for the F10 axles happen to fit other axles? Not that I know of. If you didn't catch that, that meant that I was only going to do so much work on this wiring tonight. Probably do it a little bit later. Scratch an itch, like tracks, every damn time. See, that's where you messed up. You never go tracks. That's one of those itches that when you scratch, it just makes things worse. What do you use to cut the holes for the shock towers in your body? You can see where I marked it with silver Sharpie on the inside. And then I pushed a body reamer through it. And after that, I asked Nicole to come in here yesterday. And I told her to hold the body just as solid as she could, just like this right here. And then, while she held it, I used my Dremel, or Milwaukee, whatever, with a Roto Zip blade in it. And that I just held super solid and just did a nice line straight down. That is what I used. That is a risky way to go at it because these Roto-Zip blades, these will get away from you. Don't let Matt fool you with his thoughts of what a Dremel can get away from you on. These Roto-Zip blades, these are any directional. Like they don't want to go straight. They don't want to go in a circle. They want to just go all over. Let me tell you, these things. And Nicole is not what I would say is a steady hand. I'm like, just hold it and do not move. Like, and she's like, you tell her not to move, and she's just like, but she knocked it out. She held it. I got it. Got her done. Solid options, 2 drill holes and then cut from one another with scissors. Yeah, I was just trying to get it so narrow that, and I only had, about a 3 millimeter wide slot. So it's like, it's a little bit of a pain to try and get scissors in there. If I had a, like a jeweler's saw or even just one of those blades, I could have maybe done it by hand. But let me tell you, there's no kill like overkill. So that's the way we went. I was just like, this is going to be the easiest way. We're going to roto zip it and just go. So will F10 axles fit under an SCX-10 II? I have not done that. I don't know. I assume that it's a possibility. I don't know what is disconnecting and reconnecting on my computer, but hopefully we still have audio. I'm just expecting this thing to do that complete shutdown thing again because that was awesome. Let's hobby knife and 2 holes. Yeah, I mean that was definitely an option, but it just seems like so time consuming and slow. Do you need anything special to add AR-60s to a 10.2? Yeah, a lot. That is not something that will just drop in. That is a whole thing. I've done one a while back, like the easy way, I would call it, and it still is not the easy way. What you're looking at is what is normally considered to be a Rancho build. So that is what that was called most commonly back in the day. So let's get our 3D printed roll cage added to our body. How I designed this, it mounts through the back here. How easy is it to flip the diff gears on an F10 rear? Not that hard. I did it on a live video a while back. You basically just, I mean, I would use a roto zip again. But a cutoff will do it as well. And you just got to make a groove for where the ring gear goes in the plastic. Pretty easy. Then you would have to change your hobby blade, and I know that. I changed the hobby blade yesterday because I was doing the black trim and I was cutting the vinyl or the overspray film. So I was super careful. And so I went ahead and put a new blade in. I was just like, you know what, Matt? What would Matt do right now? Put a new hobby knife. Put a new blade. And it was my last one. Oh, wait. No, it wasn't. I still have one. Oh, maybe I was gonna change it and didn't. I think that was it. I had one left, and I was just like, oh, I don't want to wait. Never mind. I take all that back. I thought about changing it, but then I did not. Now I remember. So I thought about what Matt would do, and then I didn't do that thing. Are you running the truck without the spur gear cover? Yes, without. I rarely run spur gear covers on almost anything. Yeah. Save the last blade forever, just in case shit happens. Yeah. I thought about it. Like, it was a legitimate thought. Like, yeah, damn it. I outed myself. Okay, so what we need to do, what we have here is a failure to communicate. Where's my... Was there really thought involved? There was. There was actual thought. And I was going to do things the right way. And then I remember thinking, oh, that's my last one. I should not. But Matt would have been proud that I knew. Josh, does Vanquish have an EU distributor? Robin Mueller at Bullet RC brings in a lot of it, and I believe that he is in Germany. Yes, that is the one that I see the most active on our ordering as far as EU goes. EU stuff is pretty crazy. They come and go, seems like quite often. Oh, I know what I have. I know what I have. I've got this little fancy pin vise. It's a nice one from Meng, M-E-N-G. And then I've got these Meng tungsten drill bits. And they're made, as you can imagine, for each other. Now they are small size, but I'm just going to use it to get the hole started. Are you going to paint the roll cage? No, I think silver is the right color for it. We're going to push it all the way up. We're going to make sure that it's centered by looking at the cross brace there. And go. Oh. Buys nice tooling, uses the same X-Acto blade for 4 years. It's not that old. It's old, but not. uh, there's some things I hate about myself as well. Like, I'm aware of them. I just, like, in general, I don't buy very nice drill bits. I know that I feel like I know that I should have more patience for certain things, and I just don't. And I know that it's such a bad character trait. But I do love myself and some nice tools. Um, go. Yeah, got good pilot holes drilled. Does it need four? Probably not. That's okay. Wood grain is the eye's windshield of the mount. What? What are you talking about, Chids? Drill bits are too expandable to go crazy expensive. Expendable. Yeah, that's the thing. Look, I just know how nice good drill bits are. Like when you use good drill bits, you're like, dang, that is a whole different world. Oh, I missed a super chat from Jeremiah. I don't know. Let's go back. Yes, thank you, Jeremiah. Might night at work is fun. We have a big rig trailer. It's left landing gear sank into the ground, and the trail. Oh, let's see. And the trailer, and there's bobcats on the trailer. It's oh god. It's amazing that how heavy bobcats are. Like you just never would think that those little things are as heavy as they are. And then you see like a rental bobcat being towed behind a 2002 Ford Expedition. It's like like I know for a fact you do not have the brakes to stop that. Like that is terrifying looking. There we go. You'd be getting ready to drill 52 holes in the Gladiator. Gonna get stepped split point drill bit. I love step bits, Ben. They're like one of my favorite tools. I have I have the Mac tools one though, and not that it's a great quality. It's a good quality. It's way better than like the Harbor Freight ones that I used to use. But I bought the Mac tool ones specifically so that I could swap them out because the fact that they'll warranty my step bits, I'm just like, all right, I'm gonna make you pay for this one though. Like, you've made me pay for the rest of this stuff, so you might just want to keep two in the shop. Jeremiah, check it. Okay, I'll grab my phone here in a minute. Let's see. As a machinist, I resonate with the quality of tools big time. It's crazy how quick quality tools cut and how long they can last. It that is crazy as well. Like I work with our Swiss tooling in the screw machines because that's what I have to program. And it like, sometimes I use really tiny end mills when like we're milling chromoly. And these tiny little end mills are like 60, $70 each. And I'll break them, if I'm doing it like proofing a new program, just like, whoa. So it's it's just such a bummer. But when you get it right, it is absolutely amazing how long they last. I'm going to look into that thing about banning channels with XYZ. If they got that done for us, I'm all over that. Who do you use for your Swiss tooling? Curious. I used to sell them. I use I could pull up my tooling list on my phone, but um, there's Mitsubishi, Kennametal. Let me just, if I go to my sheet, always fun. Courage banned all users by that. That's how I found out about it. I'm gonna have to look at that because that would absolutely solve a lot of my issues, at least at this point. But yeah. So anyway, Utilis, Kennametal, NTK. NTK is probably my most common as far as tooling. A lot of my back turn, grooving, my 80-degree bits, all that kind of stuff. And then, like Harvey for some of my little mills and all that kind of stuff. But yeah. All right. So 4 holes in the back of my cab. Proofing programs is the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done in my life. All our tooling is generally on the larger side, and those don't break easily. So the Citizen side, if you guys is like the opposite. The tooling is very small, but it's not like mills. It's all hidden, and it's super, like the tooling head is all the way in next to the feeder. You can't see anything. You just have to hope you don't hear something exploding. It is absolutely terrifying. I've proofed programs on mills as well and screwed up, punched the bed with a tool. Whoa. I've made mistakes, but the Swiss stuff to me is the most terrifying. Just literally you can't see it. So you move it with the handle without anything in there, and you just like making sure it's got interference detection, so it won't let some things get so close. But once you're doing real close part offs and things like that, you have to turn off interference detection. And that just means if you tell this machine to center punch itself, it'll do it. And that's terrifying. I'm going to grab my tap quick. Where's my little tap and tap holder? Did I already have it out? Did I forget that I did that? It must be. Oh, there it is. You got it. Any of you guys who if you do a lot of 3D printing, things like that, on the Vanquish site, we sell these little 1/4-inch tool adapters. It's this part here. It's made to go in your 1/4-inch drill, but we sell them pretty cheap. But I drill it out a little bit more so I can put in a 3mm cut tap. Oh, it makes things so nice. Worst tool crash you've experienced. The worst one I've experienced has probably been on a big 40 taper lathe. Um, and or not lathe, sorry, 40 taper mill, and it was a inch and a half cut off saw. So it's like it's like a little saw. You use it for parting off underneath of things, and I somehow I thought I pocketed down enough in the tooling sim, and I didn't realize that it just was showing me that it was going anyway, and I just punched it down when it went to do the next layer. Oh, it was just the worst sound. I was just like, I just punched the machine. That was my number one worst feeling. I don't know why I'm doing that in there. Josh, what are your thoughts on the new VXT compound? Seems really soft to me. It is super soft. I mean, it's definitely made to just be like a comp type tire. So super soft and a good foam. You need a good foam. There you go. You should hear an Amada bottom out. An Amada. You mean a Amada laser? Oof. Come on. There we go. Have you seen the videos of the Russian guy in the lathe? Well, is it like a tooling mishap? Because I try not to. I don't watch those. I try and be as careful as possible anyway, and I don't know. I don't like it. Anything like a Russian lathe sounds like someone just getting sucked through one of them, and I just can't do it. Can't do it. Yeah, it's tooling his head, turns himself into a. Oh, nope. I can't watch those. Can't watch them. Like, how much damage does it do to a machine when you crash it? I mean, it can be a huge variety. It can be just a broken tool. It can be a wrecked tool, a holder, and a collet, or you can, tweak a column and it can never run as good as it did ever again. Um, you know, I we've had operators who screwed something up and caused a 30 plus $1,000 mistake. Um, and yeah, it's like I know one of our lathes that we used to have, we don't have it anymore, but operator crashed it, ran the sub spindle into the main, and it was like a 30 some odd $1,000 repair. We fixed it, ran it for maybe another year before we sold it. Sold the whole machine for like 45. Like, it's just machining is a very expensive business. Everything, everything is $5,000. You're like, how much is this little thing? $5,000. You're like, that's not possible. You must not understand what I'm asking you for. Like, yeah, I do. It's $5,000. It's the dumbest thing. It blew me away when I came to Vanquish. Like, learning those things to me, it was just like, wait, what? I can't understand. Are you the owner of Vanquish or just work from there? I work there. I am not the owner of Vanquish. We are a small group, and there's only a handful of us that kind of run it, and I'm one of them. Oh, you doubt me? Make it 8,000. That is exactly right. It is freaking wild. Just the dumbest little stuff. It's That was their last day on the job. Nope, that guy's still there. Good employees make mistakes, and it is harder to find good employees than it is to replace or repair machines. I'm just now if it was something that had been there was a bigger problem there. There was someone who was giving someone a responsibility that they should not have been giving them. So they have not been properly trained for the responsibility they were given. That's more. I guess that's how I should put it. So, and they did what they thought that they knew, and then, you know, turns into a $30,000 mistake. So there we go. So this is what that's what I'm talking about. Like that interior, the scan is so good. It fits so tight, but it fits so tight you almost don't see it, which is kind of a bummer. It just fits too well in there. But from the right angles you see it, and I guess that counts. Have you ever had any nightmare employees? Oh man, so many. And I just like I've told some of these guys, some of the guys that I talk to in private, I've told them some of the stories. I don't know that I can tell any of them publicly. Like, even a lot of them are contract workers, so like a temp, not a temp. Like they're not there for a short time. They're just like it's mainly not machine shop side employees. It's usually on, well, it can be like with DeBurr, which is like an entry level position. But packaging is where I have found the most interesting stories. I mean, I've had to let people go for reasons that I never in my life imagined I would have to have a conversation with an adult human about. Like, I mean, I just sometimes it is the things that I've had to have discussions about in general. I'm just like, how does this a thing? Like, so yeah. Jeremiah thinks, let me see this tiny part. Will cost the same price as a used car, and I need to buy multiple of them. Yeah, that or like an electric motor. I had to buy an electric motor the other day, and I've had to buy them in the past. It's the Spindle Motor. So it's the motor that runs the bearing spindle in the CNC machine. And I was prepared, like normal, for it to be $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 because they always are. And this is on. So machines are usually talked about in size like 30 taper or 40 taper. This is on a 30 taper machine, which is a little bit smaller than a 40 taper. And it's actually a pretty considerable difference. 30 taper stuff is generally cheaper than 40. And so $5,000-$6,000, I'm assuming, like all motors or anything ever, $5,000. And I got the estimate and it was like 16,000. What? What? But you have to buy it, or you have a $200,000 machine that just is useless. So, Ben, I remember the stories in Alabama. Yeah, that is exactly right. I mean, let's theoretically talk about a different job that I had once at a different place that made things. This was a job that I had years ago. That, how would I say this? Allegedly. These are allegedly things that would happen. Aardvark Spleen, thank you, sir. Any chance you put that cage on Thingiverse when are you switching over to printables? Thanks for the content. Printable, is that a new website? like Thingiverse, I will gladly switch away from Thingiverse. That website is kind of a pain in the ass. I do plan to put this cage out to share with people. I just want to put a video out about it first so that people actually have to watch the video. So, yeah. But I hope to do that soon. I just need to get that done. But I do like it. It's just a nice, tight-fitting little cage. Hangs out, attaches, to the body. It also, I put mounting points in it so that I can, the cage, or not the cage, but the dash will attach to that. And I think I'm going to wood grain wrap the dash, right? I think that's going to be the way to go. So, little extra wood grain for you. That cage is slick. I think it'll be a great, interior cage for people. It's simple. It looks good. It gets the job done. And there's a billion of these power wagons. So how could that not work? Wood grain the floor of the bed like an old school truck. That wood grain gripping. What is that? What song is that? I can't remember. Did you copyright Honky Lips for the RC uses yet? I did not. Tape a foam craft seat in there. No. It will be aluminum. Let's see. Absolutely. Sometimes simple is better. Your truck really turned out nice. Did you? Oh, wait, I already read that one. What was the movie theme it's based on? Missed it. The Family Truckster from National Lampoon's Vacation. Harley Crown on the cab corners. The truckster had, yes. So I do want to try and do the crown for some sort. So since the real Family Truckster had a crown, my logo is a crown. Like, seems to make sense, right? So let's see. I feel like I should at least. I've got a handful of really, really good, bad, not employee stories. These are stories from a different job. I'll be right back. I've got to grab two things, and I will be right there. Okay, I apologize. Sorry. I had to use nasal spray and use the bathroom. Okay. Talk, talk smudge yourself. Was it that Mike Myers And did you wash your hands? Of course. Maybe. Maybe you'll never know. Um, so about a job that I had before, a different place, of course, in a different state entirely. Had a employee that she was young. I don't know, like she was probably like 20-ish anyway. Uh, she'd been an employee for maybe less than a week or around a week. And during that time, they worked in a small room. They discussed things with each other all day because they just, they're working together. And she was talking about how she needed to lose weight. She was going to be actively trying. And then the next day or so, she had told them that she started this weight loss program that she was going to be trying. And it involved some sort of pill or something like that. Drink, pill, whatever it was. Anyway, in the middle of the day, I got a message from one of my other coworkers from this previous job that I had. And they're like, we need to talk right now. Go over there. Like, somebody exploded in the girls' bathroom. And I have what I would consider to be a weak stomach. So I myself refused to investigate. But the person who we all knew that it was just basically left. Just left for the day. Like, oh, okay, we gotta go. Anyway, that person refused to admit it. But we still were left with the evidence, right? And you can't just ask an employee to handle that. Like, you just can't. Like, I don't know how you could. So it's one of those situations where I was like, how do I find I don't know how to handle this like, I'm not doing it. I promise you, I will have nothing to do with cleaning up this type of situation. And it's like, yeah, you hire an outside service. That is exactly what I thought. Like, but what do you look up? Like, the yellow pages, even at this time, because this was a previous job that happened a long, long time ago, of course. What do you look up? A crime scene? Because that's what it was. But luckily, one of the other employees was like, I bet my friend's mom would do it. I said, okay, how much? She said $20. And this was a work incident. And I was just like, I had pulled $20 out of my pocket and just said, yes. And she came and handled this for $20. And the other employees that had witnessed the incident could not believe that for $20 anybody would deal with this. Like, I mean, gas was cheaper at the time and she didn't live that far away. But still, $20, I could not believe it. I would have paid, like, I don't know, 10 times that without blinking. It was like, oh. Tip that woman $100. There's no way that I could have looked that woman in the face after. So I just hand the money and I walk. I don't know if she got, I don't even know. Maybe the other one took half of it and only gave her 10. I don't know. But like we are going to both, I don't know that our paths ever need to cross again. But then the fact that that person was when you use a contract employee, you don't have the same type of thing with like firing somebody. So you can just say, we don't need this person on contract anymore. You don't have to have any reason at all. So it makes it easy to be like, don't come back. Please ever. But then, we have nicknames for these incidents. But I can't say the nickname because it gives away the identity of the guilty. Yeah, that was one of them. There's a lot of other ones that are just really, really bad that I can't. I don't know how to get around what some of these were. She was Master Blaster. Yeah, it was. Could you charge them with biological warfare? Yeah. I mean, kind of, how do we wrap this what kind of trash do I don't have black trash bags. Don't take those ass rocket pills ever again. Oof, yeah. I don't know what it was, but it was so not good. I mean, this conversation has gone to shit. Hey, where is Master Blaster 3000? Yeah, I think it was. I guess it doesn't really give away. Just called Shitzilla, but then it was because the name, like her name, like had that in it almost. Doesn't matter. Nitrile gloves? I don't know. I literally couldn't be on that side of the building. While any of that was happening, I made myself be on the opposite side of the building. Like, I want nothing. I don't want to look at the person who had to look at that and then have a conversation with them. I'm removing myself that far. Better than cleaning up bullshit. No, I grew up around animal. I mucked stalls. I can deal with, honestly, I grew up in the Midwest. Driving by an area with a high population of cows, to me, doesn't even smell bad. It doesn't smell bad to me. So, for your trash bags, my trash bags are white. And so, I need a black trash bag. I don't have black trash bags. Cows, no. Chickens, hell, oh God, that is true. Chicken farms, poultry farms in general, to me, smell like rotten Cool Ranch Doritos. I don't know if Cool Ranch Doritos can go rotten, but I smell Cool Ranch. When I'm there, it's ugh. That's what poultry farms smell like. Driving through, where is the worst? Arkansas? I felt like there's so much poultry in Arkansas. Maybe that's why I hate Cool Ranch. We have one delivery driver that won't use this one road because of the cow shit smell. Doesn't affect me. Yeah, cow does not affect me either. Let's see. Do you like high clearance links? I don't. I like them performance wise. I get it. I'll use them in that case, but not for looks. On a truck like this where I'm kind of interested in the style a lot, I don't. Iowa pig rendering plants. Oh, yeah. Rendering plants, agreed. There's a rendering plant just, what would that be? Kind of on the southwest side of Denison, Iowa, that every time we drive by it, it's just oh, it was terrible. Should we discuss skunk smell? Skunk smell isn't good, but it's not It's like, Josh, by my old high school had a dog food factory down the road from it, and the smell was so nasty in the middle of summertime. Yeah, a lot of those, it's like the dried blood smell. It's so bad. I work for a large retail hardware store. Numerous times I've walked into the restroom to find explode on the walls, or better yet, dropped in the middle of a stall of the restroom. I've walked into a Chipotle, I think it was a Chipotle once in Kansas City, and found a crime scene like that, and was just like, nope. Like, how did it happen at Chipotle? That's after Chipotle. Worst smell, rendering plant. I think the worst to me is my family, my dad, his business was that they worked in the meatpacking industry. So the business my dad owned had, they built meatpacking equipment, and then they bought and sold used equipment. And I remember going with my dad to pick up a piece of machinery from a packing plant that had been closed for 6 months. And I think it like went out of business. So they just like left, like turned the lights on or off and left. They didn't like clean up before they went. Like, terrible. Blech. And so I worked for solid waste, garbage. Yeah, see, I'm a civil engineer by trade. So I remember in college we would go to the wastewater treatment facilities, and those are pretty bad. They, because you'd go in, they'd have like, what's it? So you've got, how did those all work? Comes in on the, like someone who actually works in the industry will probably destroy me on this, but comes in initially, goes through like a grate, to like pull out solids, heavies that can just be basically dropped right into trucks or whatever. And then goes through there, then goes into like, I think the clarifiers are later. There's like primary and secondary clarifiers. I remember they go through after some of that stuff, they go into like this big activated sludge tank, these huge tanks where all that water comes in, and it's like a bacteria in there that keeps it going and like breaks it all down. And I remember the guys that would like take us on these tours, they'd be like, I know it's kind of disgusting, but I can literally just walk by or like come into work and walk by my tanks and just smell if the bacteria is right. It's like, yeah. He's like, sometimes you can just tell bacteria's a little off. You can smell when you walk in. Like, oh God. Like, I know that is not something you normally talk about a lot. So yeah, this conversation really has turned. Imagine working at Proline in the rubber department. See, does the Proline like rubber smell bother other people? I know Nicole can't stand it. She thinks it's like the worst smell in the world. She calls it like she says it's fishy smell, and it doesn't get. I don't. Maybe because I've always only associated it with a good thing, so I don't know. But I work in large 600-foot long chicken houses with 30,000 chickens. Ammonia smell is very strong. Ooh, that's. Thinking of ordering a Hobby Wing Fusion Pro. Crazy thought, talking about RC. Should I pull the trigger? They're super convenient. I like them for sure, for a lot of those reasons. Thank you, Tracy Quinton. Much appreciated. Did you have a question or anything? Anything? Throw it in there. I'll try and watch for your name. It would discolor pennies in your pocket. Wait, what would? I don't see where else it's where your first comment was. I work at a Plantation Foods before it changed to Cargill. When they brought the turkeys in, hung them on the racks, cut them. Rubber fingers spun like a car. Yeah, I've seen like the defeathering pluckers to knock. I've seen a lot of that meat packing equipment and how it all gets made. I still eat hot dogs though, because they're still delicious. Even if you see them get made and you know what goes in them, sometimes you just have to deal with it. My girlfriend really hates it. It smells like cat. See, I don't get Proline rubber smells horrible. Okay, I completely agree with her. It's because she sniffed a tire the one time online. Huh. The slaughterhouse, we live in Cargill during production. Kind of wild seeing the cows get processed. Yeah, that's the world I just knew growing up. So that smell though and all that just doesn't really get me. Oh, I should make sure everything spins fine. Good beef. I'm in high overdrive. Solidifying my vegan choice. Bite your tongue. Nope, don't do that because that would be anti-vegan. I make myself laugh. That's all that matters. I want one of those hats. That's the good news is these hats are done and will be on the website next week. We did, I think the new ones though are a different color. I think they are navy. I think the new ones are navy. They're basically the same. I think the guy is just a little bit smaller. Navy, and we also did 2XL. So we have large and 2XL. We did a bunch of the larger stuff just because obviously there's some. I have a big head, and these actually, like I wear a 7 3/4 fitted hat normally, but some people are larger than that. So no camo option for the hats. No, as much as I tried, it didn't work. Then we also have a new like a embroidered Vanquish V coming, and we did youth sizes of the Comp Stance one as well. So we have some kids hats, and I did one with a patch, and so like the trucker hats were, but it's on a flex fit. So I want a lime green with black logo to match my Jeep real skin. You know how hard it is already for me to try and get colors. Like, what size hat is that for? 7.75. What? Yeah, no orange hats and parts trays. I bet. Yeah, exactly. They just won't. I do have one coming that's camo brown. So, or olive. I can't remember. So, it's somewhere in there. I'm an adult, but I have to wear youth hats. One of my super good friends back in Kansas City, he was the same way. He'd wear like the trucker hats, and they were like overlapping all the way, so it had like the little weird tail in the back. Where did you get the wood grain vinyl? I got it on Amazon. The hard thing is that all of the other wood grain stuff that I was finding was contact paper. And I wanted one that was vinyl, not, so this was like for walls or something like that. And it is actual vinyl. It's not great quality vinyl, but it's pretty good, but it's not contact paper. And that was the important thing. How big is the XL hat? This is the XL hat. And like I said, I'm at 7 3/4 normally, 7 5/8 even, or 7 5/8, 7 3/4 right in there. And this is a really comfortable hat, and it's deep too. So, is that large or extra large hat for your 7? So the normal size is large, extra large. That's like the normal. That's this 7 3/4. But if you want larger than that, it is a 2XL. So if you're like 7 7/8, 8 or bigger, then the 2XL will be the hat that you'll want. 7 3/4, I think you're. What species wood is it? I think it's the polymer tree. Yeah, poly. It smells like a vinyl tree. Is VP making a 2XL hat? Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah. What? Let's see. Logan says, well, shit, 6 feet into Mousetrap Trail right now to test my new shift servos, and I popped a portal gear or ring and pinion in the rear axle of my Capra. Oh, portal gear or ring and pin. Man, the ring and pinion should be pretty bulletproof in those. So it had to be an upper portal gear, if that's the case. I can't imagine ring and pinion gear. Well, you should know if it's portal gear, one will still spin. Do you have a smaller hat? We'll have the youth hat, and the large XL is pretty much for like normal sizes. Let's see. Justin Baker, thank you, sir. Great cover photo tonight. Had to log in, so good job. I love extreme crawling in Louisville and across the Ohio River. Moved to Midland, Michigan. Rocks? Anyone? Yeah, that's like where I grew up. Started crawling in Nebraska. Man, there was nothing for rocks. We were just out of luck. So I know Michigan seems to have like a bunch of indoor rock crawling spots, but not a lot of natural beyond that, right? At least from what I've heard or what I've seen. But yeah, that's Kentucky. I'm in Kentucky. Kentucky is a state I have not spent much time in. I've been through there, but I haven't actually, like Tennessee, Alabama, Georgia, done a lot in there. Kentucky, though, just almost none. So, Falls of the Ohio have rocks near the river. I don't know that. Michigan does have a few good indoor. There are some good outdoor places near Lansing. There you go. Are we beaming tonight? We could do a little break after 9. Maybe I could download Parkour 3 for those that are for an after stream. Opinions on the Shift RC S2.0 servo. So I have the Shift GT3s. Those are the only 2 Shift servos that I have, though, and they're both GT3s. So I've never tried the 2.0s. So I don't know. I haven't tried a lot of theirs. So yeah, I'm game for Parkour 3. Yeah, we'll try it. We'll set it up. The only thing I need to do is I need to grab something. You haven't finished Parkour 2. That is true. Although I think if I try Parkour 2, I'm going to not get anywhere because Parkour 2, I'm to the part at the end that is so hard. So I feel like I'm going to have to leave that unsatisfying and not finish it. I feel like to finish that, it would need to be an edited video because it will take me a billion tries. Close. Had a lot of Hand of God moments on too. That is exactly right. Come on, that river is easy. Oof. Oof. We are in a world of hurt. But we're about to the end of this one. Hopefully I get a video out on this truck like Saturday. Wait, no. Tomorrow is Saturday. So it would be for a Sunday release. Sunday I'll be gone, so no video for Monday. Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm going to do, because I want to try and get a few things. I'm going to design up the parts that I want to have laser cut, because I think I'm going to do them out of titanium. I think I'm going to do the titanium rear setup, titanium front bumper maybe. Maybe some stuff for a titanium roof rack. Close up on the tires, please. So there's your J Concepts sidewall. The Tusk, as you can see there. It's the, what is that? The Baja Pro X tread pattern is the style. It's, I mean, people say these work really well. It's crazy just because of how close some of the tread blocks are. I would not expect that they would work this well, but yeah. And that's, we should break the rules and use a different vehicle. Oh, yeah, I know what you mean. Almost go back to, do you have a code for send, cut, send? I do, Scott. Let me double check. I think it saves you 10%. Let me, yeah, did I put it in this one? I think I did. No, I did not. Okay, hold please. Ooh, I definitely talked about it in the, there we go. So yeah, the code for send, cut, send is 15 HD discount. 15 Harley Designs discount. I guess that saves you 15%. So even better. Copy. Oop. There you go. That's the code. And if you click this link, it'll at least let them know that you came through me. Like I don't get, it's not an affiliate link. I do use affiliate links at times. These are not affiliate links. The only thing Send Cut Send does is they do on occasion give me credit so that I can cut my own parts. That is my deal with Send Cut Send. I really like using them. They're super fast, so that's why I use them. And every once in a while they give me some credit to use to cut my own stuff. So if people click that link and they know they're coming from me, hey, looks better for me. You ever going to make a pass in your carbon fiber drag chassis? I don't know. I feel like the drag stuff, it progressed so fast, and if you weren't so involved and like headstrong into it, it just passed me by. And I feel like that is what happened there. That the drag stuff instantly passed me by. Anything I saw, like, just gone. Let's see. Try again. I was running Minota's challenge with a stock D series with locked diffs. It didn't go very well. What is your pinion spur gearing on your 4-wheel steer Capra with 3-gear trans? I have, oh God, that's a great question. And I can't remember off the top of my head. I think I'm at a 52 tooth spur gear and a 17 tooth pinion, I believe. I think I'm right in there. So drag guys, too much drama. They're definitely racers. So I mean, I've never been an RC racer. I know that racers have racer mentalities, and that's a thing, and it's a part of it. It's definitely not the part of it that I enjoy as much. Everything everywhere has some drama. Some people can make drama in freaking Hot Wheels collector Facebook groups. It's amazing. Not that I'm in those, but I've seen it. Seen it. So, anyway. So yeah, I still have work to do on this thing. Hopefully I get some of that done. And hopefully you guys have a good rest of the weekend. If you're interested, I am going to set up a continuing stream. It's up to you. It will be discussions about RC peripherally, but a little bit about the video game that I enjoy playing after said streams on. So anyway, I'm gonna fire that up. Dang it, I missed super. Jeremiah, I don't know how I missed this. Come to Minnesota, I can take you some good crawl. I need to get up to Minnesota for a couple of actual things. Nicole and I have been trying to get there for like 2 years. Just haven't been. It's so hard. We want to travel so much, and we just so much stuff just get, because we always have to go home though. You know, like we always want to go home. So it's like, you know, we take the times when we can go home to visit family and friends as much as we can. And it's like extra trips. It's like, it's always hard. Because like we have some friends up there. We want to get up there. And just we never make it happen. Get here before winter. Oh yeah, for sure. Anyway. All right, guys. I'm going to take I'm going to try and start it by like 9:15 my time. So that's 12 minutes. Because I'm going to try and make a sandwich and start that. So, does Vanquish accept PayPal? Yes, we do. Yes, we do indeed. PayPal, Venmo, major credit cards. There you go. Have a good night. See some of you guys over on the continuing stream. And yeah, the rest of you, have a good one. Bye.